Hi, this is your host Shubham Tiwari, and I welcome you to Education Plus, a show brought to you by Wonderpublish Magazine, where we try to bring in the institutional perspective to the discourse around education and, more importantly, education technology. Our today's guest is Dr. Shunila Joy Chauhan, principal at Orchids, the International School, Mumbai. Welcome to Wonderpublish Magazine, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on this platform where I can connect with so many wonderful people.
We are glad to have you, ma'am. And to begin with, we are again in this pandemic. We are again working from home. So, what's the feeling like for an administrator like you?
I would say it's like deja vu because
Okay.
last year we were unprepared. This year we have evolved a lot, brought in a lot of changes.
Yeah.
So although we see that yes, it's back to being online, yet this time we are better prepared with many more things, which we can do for our beloved children and for
Right.
our teachers and staff.
Right. So, speaking of your children, how are they feeling? It must have been, pretty inconvenient for them to, again go back to that small screen instead of that classroom.
Yes, very true. In fact, the children have been really disappointed because they were looking forward to coming back to school at least in June.
Yeah.
And now they look at another 6 months or a year or whatever, they are also not sure
Correct.
uh, at home and they cannot interact the way they do with
Right.
their peers, which
Yeah.
otherwise in real time it's so different. So they are
Correct.
disappointed. Very often they say, "Man, why have you shut the school?" I
Yeah, they don't understand
Yes, they
completely.
do that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, as an administrator, how much time do you think schools can go without having kids at their premises?
Yeah, that's really a very, very difficult situation for a
Yeah.
school because without having the children, it's not just about teaching. There are many aspects to having a school running
Correct.
where, it's not just it's teaching, then,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, the interaction,
The environment, everything. Yeah.
the environment, everything. They learn by observing groups, all
Correct.
that.
Yeah.
And though online has helped a lot, but even schools are facing a lot of financial crunches because of the
Yeah.
not raising the fees, still paying their staff, all that. So it's both ways. There are two things attached to this. Yeah, two
Absolutely.
aspects.
Absolutely. So, if I take you back in time when you were starting, what, 18 years ago, 17 years ago? How much time
Yeah.
has it been? Yes, right.
18 years. Yeah.
So, what was the feeling like? How did you get into this line? And what do you think of your career? So far?
So actually, I joined official school teaching 18 years ago,
Okay.
but I used to teach before that too. But
Okay.
that time in a tutorial class.
Tuition sort
Yes,
of thing? Or okay.
yes, like
Okay.
like a tuition class, where you have
Okay.
so many tutorial classes. And that time I used to teach French,
Right.
but that love and passion for teaching was always there. And I used to watch my French teacher
Okay.
long back, way back when I was studying in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. I
Okay.
had Yes, so that's where I completed my schooling, and of course that's another story. I came to India and had to redo 10th because that time IGCSE was not recognized.
Right.
But my French teacher was an incredible lady, a patient soul, very kind, sweet, firm, taught us.
Wow.
And I used to do really badly in French in the initial 1 year. I was struggling with all the singular, plural, and all that.
Yeah.
But she had the patience and love to hold each child's hand and give them that undivided attention, despite the fact that she was facing so much problem in her personal life, because this was way back, okay, in the 80s when South Africa was under the apartheid
Apartheid.
system.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
So my French teacher's husband was a political prisoner, and
Okay. They were natives.
they were, yes.
Okay.
So she did not let that affect her
Wow.
interaction. Yes. And though we were in East Africa, her husband was in South Africa, she came every day with this beaming smile. And that's what I learned from her. Smile, it makes a very big difference to the child in front of you, the welcome. And she made such a difference and made me want to be a teacher. I always wanted to, therefore, then be a teacher. Somewhere it was always there.
It's a wonderful story. What was her name?
Her name was Mrs. Wamba.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. So you started as a teacher and then you transitioned into administration.
Yes.
So how was that like? Because I'm sure for a teacher, administration brings out whole different, challenges. So how did you respond to it?
It was a little bit of trial and error.
Okay,
Okay, because and there is no harm in failing. That's what we have to learn to cope with. If you
right.
fail, just pick up and learn from others.
Correct.
Find out. There are so many ways to help yourself. Just go and look and ask for help, and people are there to help you.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I started off very enthusiastically as a teacher. I used to teach ICSE. Then I
Okay.
went at City International School. I started with the uh, ICSE board. Then I went to WebCure as a teacher teaching economics of the IG and A levels. That was a wonderful experience interacting with little more grown up kids. And then develop curriculum as a subject matter expert. So that's when I shifted out of being with kids, and I used to miss that a lot. So then for 5 years, when I was in the corporate office in
Yeah.
Wipro, I did administration. I enjoyed all those aspects. I learned a lot about what to look out for. And so when I joined as a principal, I actually went into a complete administration.
Okay.
And I joined in Thakur International, where I learned a lot about a
Okay.
team. And
Mm-hmm.
then now here I am at Orchids. And
Okay. So, yeah.
it's been a transition of, I would say, that a few things here and there are not always easy, but never
Right.
give up. Never give up on what you believe you're doing. Is what is your passion? Just
Correct.
go ahead and take the help that you need.
Absolutely. And speaking of trials and errors, I mean, what are the core strengths of you as an administrator? What did you find in that journey?
Yeah. The first thing I think I learned as an administration is collaboration. You cannot
Okay.
live by yourself.
Right.
You cannot, you have to discuss, you have
Yeah.
to meet people and be an active listener. So I think we hear that a lot of times, where people say be an active listener, but you
Mm-hmm.
actually have to stop and you have to let that other person speak and
Yeah.
listen to them, not just
Yeah.
wait for what you're going to tell them,
Right.
not just frame your answers. So I learned that. Also, patience and
Mm-hmm.
not jumping to conclusions.
Okay. That's very hard. Okay.
Very difficult because you hear so many things.
Yeah.
In that position, different people come and tell you different things. This one has said this,
True.
this one has said that. So you have to be very careful and not judge by the book by the cover always.
Yeah. So, do you find teachers don't listen to their students properly? I mean, when you said that listening is also an art form, it's very difficult. So, how a teacher should, listen to a kid?
Yes, a teacher needs to listen to a child, and very often, if they are too stressed, they wouldn't. Also, that thing that I'm a teacher, I know everything.
Yeah, that's
That
the
thing
problem.
is
Yeah.
there. But I think this pandemic taught us that we don't know everything. And
Of course. Yeah.
the kids taught us many things. They taught us a lot of IT skills, and they were helpful to all the teachers in the class. They
Wow.
were they were our strength actually, our children. So teachers also, I think, learned it in their own way. That yes, children need to, and I think this is globally everywhere. That
Correct.
yes, children do listen to their teachers, and teachers also do as a whole fraternity. I would say the teaching profession is such that uh, that is inbuilt, and if it's not inbuilt, various trainings and all are given to
Yeah.
teachers that you need to listen to your kid what they're saying.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, you spoke about learning new things during this pandemic. What is the one thing that you learned about
Oh my goodness, I learned how to handle. This entire thing, calamity of how you go from offline to online, uh,
Yeah.
str- struggled with a few, computer skills for that.
Okay.
Things like joining a class, camera on, camera off,
Yes.
everybody or not on mute, utter chaos, all those things.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned. Basically, handling the communication between parents and school,
Yeah.
that balance, yourself in the position, both sides. I think so. That's what I learned, to be a little more patient and be patient with myself also, because sometimes you have too many expectations from your own self and you get
Yeah.
so stressed. So be kind to yourself, and in turn, you will be kind to others.
Absolutely. And you have been working with NGOs in
Yes.
the areas of women and education of children. So, I mean, how did you manage your social work during this time, and what have you done? I mean, so far?
Actually, it was tough to visit the children and
Yeah.
the ladies in the place where I actually volunteer. That's Mother's Home Convent in Ambernath. It's in Mumbai.
Okay.
Because of the restrictions and all, and this whole situation.
Yeah.
But I was able to still provide them with the online English classes, because that's what I used to do. I used to help them out with their spoken skills.
Okay.
And as far as being a global goodwill ambassador, uh, there is this very interesting program called My Body is My Body.
Okay.
And that's about how you stand up against child abuse. So it's a set of 5 6 songs which you through which you can teach children how to take care of
Right.
themselves and all that, not to trust people too
Yeah.
much and that. So I was able to do that with my with some of my students also in the pre-primary section. I taught the
Wonderful.
teacher. Yes, I
Hmm.
taught the teachers, and who in turn would teach the children, and we enjoyed those sessions. So this is the kind of thing that I could do while we were all at home, mm,
Right. So,
providing curriculum and the
okay. So,
musical part.
right, right. So all these songs, I mean, are they on internet? Can we
Yes,
access?
yes, you can access it, and if you need any help, I can give it. It's a completely free thing.
Yeah.
It start it started by someone called Chrissy Sykes.
Okay.
Yes, and she's very passionate about it. And, there are many people who can do this. They can do this course and they can take it, and it's in different languages. It's in Hindi. It's
Right.
in different languages too. So it's
Correct.
a powerful program.
Absolutely, we should bring all these programs, into Hindi language as well, because
Yes.
बहुत सारे जो हैं बच्चे ज़्यादातर हिंदी
हाँ.
मीडियम में पढ़ते हैं हिंदुस्तान के. ठीक बात.
Mhm.
So, you recently transitioned. I mean, you changed your school during this not so pandemic, before this, second wave. So,
Yes.
how was this experience of changing jobs? Must have been difficult, I guess.
Yes, it was actually a difficult uh, thing, a difficult decision also to take, to
Yeah.
carry on to another institution. And
Right.
then part two is to get a good job, which would be as per your skills and as per your expectations also.
Correct.
So, see, when we take, say, what do we do when we are trying to drive a car? You have to keep on and on learning, right? So
Of course.
that's what I did. I went for many interviews, and
Okay.
I did,
Wow.
yes, and I took each one as an experience. Some I liked, some I didn't like, and
Of course.
after, yeah, so after a lot of deliberation with many opportunities of different roles,
Right.
I chose Orchids because of its pan India existence, and I felt I was in alignment with its vision.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. So, what would you say to teachers or educators who are going through this transition, or they haven't found their next school yet?
Mm.
They are having some difficulty. What message would you like to give to them?
First of all, do not feel that, don't have that lack of confidence in yourself that I can't get a job. Because that's the first thing that happens to people, that, oh, there's something that I'm doing that's drastically wrong, and I must be not that good. There must be so many others better. You keep, if
Of
you
course,
get
yeah.
rejected, you start feeling that.
Right.
Don't do that. the situation is such. In the pandemic, people are uh, cost cutting and jobs are less.
Yeah,
And because it's online, teachers or schools also are not hiring that many teachers. Don't
correct.
give up. Just keep applying and then see that, when you decide on a job, that don't forget what you actually want, because if you do, then you're there for another so many years
Correct.
with that lack of, you will not be committed to that place, you will not be happy.
Absolutely. So don't get desperate. I mean,
Don't get desperate. Yes, don't take the first thing just because, I'm not getting a job. Okay, I've got a job, take it. Just be a little
absolutely.
patient.
Absolutely. And since this pandemic has taught us so many things, particularly teachers, how to use technology, how to do this, that. So, what new interpersonal skills you'd say, an educator should develop now to be a 21st century, let's say, educator?
So, some of the interpersonal skills I believe is that for improve your communication skills,
Okay.
because communication is the key to everything. You need to communicate properly, whichever be the interface, whether it's online, whether it's face to face. But
Right.
right now, we are all interacting through this particular medium. So
Yes.
get comfortable, be realistic with yourself,
Yeah.
and uh, prove that that confidence level in your own self, and that will be when you keep facing it. So,
Correct.
as I was saying, initially I was a little worried that how can I keep talking in front of a camera and just a laptop
Yeah.
actually, just go on and just keep talking to a class and or whatever to your staff or anyone, and then you have that people can put their cameras off. They can
Yeah.
say there are network issues.
Yeah.
May not attend a particular meeting or a class. Saying these kind of things,
Yeah.
but no. First, be sensitive, of course, to all the problems that people have, but
Correct.
also have that discernment to know that when you're being taken for a ride, and
Correct.
be firm about that, and do what you expect others to do. So if you want everyone to have their cameras on, please
Right.
put on your own camera. Please be confident and speak. You know
Yeah.
that I feel is what is important, and which I have tried to bring into myself also.
Absolutely. And since you've worked, under various principles, now you're yourself, are principal. So what makes, an exceptional principal different from an average one?
So I think first of all, average principle, obviously there are many, but an exceptional principle is one who is calm, because a calm principle gives that feeling to everyone around them. They also feel calm, whatever be the crisis. And in
Right.
a school, there are n number of crises. So, a calm person, a person who is empathetic,
Yeah.
and so because if you're empathetic, your entire team trusts you and comes to you with the real truth,
Yeah.
be it whosoever, and even the parents, the children, everyone. So be approachable. I always believe in the open door policy where you should be approachable and not be only someone who's very, very far to,
Correct. Should not be
unapproachable.
seen distant. Correct.
Yes, absolutely. So that would be, that's what I always have followed. And I want to be like the few principles that I've worked with. And some of them have been really exceptional. And
Wonderful. So do you always remain this calm, man?
this is this is something I wouldn't. I don't know. I feel I'm calm, but then my
No,
children
we
tell
also
me another.
feel, we also feel that you are very calm. Basically you're a very calm person, I guess.
My children have a different story to tell, but then oh,
Correct. Correct.
yeah.
So, since we are living under this, different times, the technology is playing such a huge role. Do you think the technology is going to remain very, entwined in this new system?
Yes, it's come to stay and to change things completely. See,
And
last year,
yeah,
yeah,
no, no,
sorry.
please continue.
Last year we thought that we're just going to start with school in January. Then we thought June.
Yeah,
But what happened? In that, we learned that things are still happening side by side, even online. So I think hybrid teaching,
yeah,
that kind of thing, will has come to stay. And children also find it easy to log into a particular link and uh, actually access. But see, we
yeah,
are talking about the urban child. The child in the village may not have this kind of thing. In fact, does not have.
yeah,
So this kind of access. So I would say that a certain section of people, yes, it's going to completely change their things,
yeah,
and hopefully more and more people would change the system in the villages also in rural India, so that all the children can have this kind of comfort of learning at their pace and at their time, because see, even the NEP has brought in so many changes.
yes. I was just coming to that only, so I'm glad that you
Okay.
brought it up.
So whether it's vocational or
Yeah,
whether it's you know where you have your internships, every child is going to learn at his pace and as per his capabilities and
yeah,
bring out the best in himself. So that's where we step in as educators, change around things.
yeah,
If technology has come to stay, accept it.
yeah,
All of us learn it. Our children already know much more than us. A little child also, if you give him a cell phone, you see how he reacts. He knows pushes all the correct buttons and is on YouTube. So
absolutely, ma'am.
that's how. Yeah.
So,
So we need to.
so do you believe that we can trust our, young ones to take care of their studies on their own? I mean, do you believe that they are studying as much as they were when they were at schools?
Uh, Very difficult because this is more, specific to some of the kids, depending on the school, how they are
Yeah,
monitoring
yeah,
the family setup. But parents have played a very big role now. Parents have taken it into their hands because since the child is taking the classes from home, they have
yeah,
entered each and every home of the child. So, yes, wherever that partnership of school, child, and parent is working, then I would say that yes, a child is studying. But where it's not, then just an online class will not be effective as a real time teaching.
absolutely. And are you providing any sort of counseling to the parents in any form?
Yes, definitely. All kinds of counseling to help the children with
Yeah.
the anxiety issues.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and there was this time when children were completely at home, and even now, this same situation has come up where children are not allowed to go down, play. So they were going through this kind of a trauma, too much just on screen viewing, and then no place to go and play with with their friends. So we used to counsel the children also, the parents also, how to cope with them. And many of the children used to say, "We are tired of our parents all the time. We
Obviously,
want
yeah.
this." So it goes both ways. Even the parents are tired of having so many demands from everyone, all the children at home. That's why uh, counseling for both were required, and we do that.
Absolutely. And how has been the support from your, let's say, the upper crust of your school? I mean, the board of your school. How are they supporting your teachers? You?
Yes, so the boards of the management is supportive because they in turn are also parents.
Yeah,
They in turn are they can see the whole situation. So they allow us to train our teachers to speak to our parents and the children accordingly, and they are always very they take feedback from us on a daily basis as to how is it progressing, what more can we do.
yeah,
All the children,
yeah.
nobody's cameras should be off. Make the children interact using the reaction buttons. Suppose we're
Okay.
using
Yeah,
Zoom. Yeah. Let the children answer in a disciplined manner. Raise their virtual hand through Zoom. all
Okay.
those ways, So,
Hmm.
and they take feedback from us. They work on that and say, make ask each child something, involve each child. Nobody should be, just left out.
Yeah,
So I think as far as children are concerned, they are supported. Teachers also, all kinds of trainings are, I mean, the school provides for that, gives them that the skills equipped to deal with this kind of a situation.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of, ma'am, since we are at the end of our interview, so touching upon the physical aspect of, the school education, how are
Mhm.
you, encouraging students to keep their physical strength, about, and how are they going about this?
Yes, so we of course do online physical exercises.
Okay, so they
Yeah,
do it along with the teachers
they do it
online.
along with the teachers. The teacher
Okay,
does a warm up, and then she does the exercises for that day. And
okay,
the children also are advised to wear comfortable clothes, the
yeah,
PE uniform,
yeah,
and look for places where there's no slippery mat, and then they happily jump around and do it, and they love it. They love music and dance.
okay,
Some advice is given about their diet, what they should eat to keep strong, to build
correct,
up their immunity, eat healthy. We provide for different kinds of breaks. There's also one break for water and fruit, or
yeah,
you can have some nuts, some like
yeah,
badam type, almonds or something.
right,
So it's in every aspect it's covered that they also are moving around. They are fit.
right.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, and if I ask you, what kind of support are you looking from, let's say the uh, EdTech community who are coming up with new softwares, to
Mhm.
support schools, to support, the smooth functioning. So, what kind of expectations do you have from them?
Uh, First of all, I think that we need to have a little more of them. There are loads of them. Okay,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's very difficult to choose.
I'm sure.
So
Yeah,
yeah, because the more people you meet, each one has come up with something which is unique.
yeah,
I mean, each one is good. So many times we feel like okay, and they give you a free registration for 1 month. It's free. Please try it out.
yeah,
Then you like it.
yeah,
Uh, there is an extent to how many a person can sign up for. So uh, maybe they could all come together, which I know it's not possible for everyone to come together, but probably the ones which have got similar things could
yeah. They
come
can team up,
together.
right? Yeah,
They can team up.
yeah,
So rather than because it's confusing
right.
how which one to choose. And if we can have a AR VR kind of a thing which does not have that much of a buffering problem, it would be good. Because
Okay.
a few that I tried, I felt that it needs a very much higher level of internet than many
Yeah.
people have. Yeah.
Generally, we have. Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Absolutely. And ma'am, lastly, I would ask you to give a message to your kids.
First of all, my message for the kids is that you'll have been wonderful so far. Okay, wonderful 1.5 years have almost passed with us in the same situation, and not exactly 1.5 years, little less. But even if we are looking at a longer time, just keep strong, keep on listening to your parents, to your teachers, and study and eat well, exercise, and don't give up because you all are going to be back in normal school very soon. Okay, don't go and speak to someone if you are feeling depressed. Listen to music, take a little walk in the house or in your building. Don't forget that we are all there and ready to speak to you at any given point of time. So that's what I want to tell the children. Just have, that faith in yourself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Shunila Joy Chauhan. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you so much for having me here. It was really a pleasure to talk to you.
And thank you everyone for tuning into this episode. I'll see you in the next one.